1. This just happened 20 minutes ago and I'm still laughing about it. I was in the Bullseye store with the red vests and shirts. I was picking up a few office supplies. I managed 3 restaurants and one of the office's supplies ran low on staples and printing paper. And the supply truck won't be in till the end of the month. I gathered the items I needed and headed to the check lanes. I heard a banshee-like shrill screaming, "Hey you!" I look around, and this lady has a person who really does work there cornered, and the poor girl looked to be on the verge of tears. SC, screaming customer, RE, real employee, me, yours truly.
"Yes, you, Mr. Manager, come here and discipline your employee. She refuses to help me and was very rude and called me some very bad names."
Now, I have read enough of these "I don't work here" posts and always wondered why no one does this, so I gave it a shot. "Is this true? Were you rude to this lovely piece of humanity?" Which made her kind of giggle. "No, I just told her I'm on my way home. I just finished my shift. If she needs help, she can ask someone else who would be more than happy and clocked in. When I told her this, she reached for me. I backed off. I don't like strangers touching me, and I never insulted her."
"Liar! You called me all sorts of bad words. When I find my husband, he will have you fired if you don't do something about it."
"Lady, I'm the district manager. I will ask you to calm down, and if you don't, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store."
"What? Oh, I am just very upset, you stupid—"
She used an F word. Wasn't fudge.
"It's been most distressful. In all my years, I have never been treated so horribly."
"Ma'am, you aren't settling down. I'm going to have to ask you to excuse yourself from the premises, or be escorted out by security." I pull out my phone, speed dial my missed messages.
"My husband?"
"Go to the customer service desk, page your husband, and tell him you will be waiting outside for him while he does the shopping. Now leave this store immediately." I pretend to talk to security on the phone. "Yes, we have an unruly customer who needs to be escorted from the store." SC throws what she has on the floor and leaves screaming and yelling and threatening to sue and shut the store down. I turn to Ari and ask if she's okay. She tells me yeah. She didn't know I was in the store, but glad I was. "I hope I'm not in any trouble. I just worked a double shift and I just want to go home. I'm extremely tired and hungry." "Nah, you're not in trouble. I don't even work here." After a second or two, it sinks in what I said, and Ari begins to laugh uncontrollably. I told her I manage the restaurant up the street, and she is welcome to come in and have a free meal in my dime. As I leave for the restaurant, I walk through the parking lot and see the screaming banshee customer sitting in a pickup truck on her cell phone. I could hear the muffled screams and crying and figure I better get the hell out of Dodge. Ari did come into the restaurant to thank me. I told her the offer of the free meal is still good. She took me up on it, but tipped the server really well, even though it was a free meal. We talked and laughed about the banshee, and she laughed even harder when I told her about seeing her sitting in the truck. 2. So I'm a cashier at a grocery store, and I was scanning this lady's items. But this lady kept bossing me around telling me that
"This item isn't packed correctly," or "You're putting too much items in this bag."
And she kept on shouting at me, yelling at me, insulting me, and threatening me because I'm not doing stuff her way. So then she goes,
"I'm going to complain to your manager. You're not listening."
Or something along those lines. And so I apologize to her for my actions in a nice way, but she just goes,
"Don't fucking worry about it,"
and gets all upset and angry and takes her shopping away. Then I see her at the front desk complaining to my supervisor about me, and I just shrug it off, roll my eyes at the lady, and go on with my day without a single fuck. Then next month after this incident, I dyed my hair a different color, cut my hair, decided to wear contact lenses instead of glasses. I didn't tie my hair since my hair is shorter, and at this time our uniform had changed too because we have this promotion thing going on. Also at this time, I forgot my name badge since I lost it at home somewhere. Then the same lady who complained about me came to my register again, and this time she acted all nice and friendly. She tells me that
It's been a month since I shopped here. I was not happy with the service I received, so I didn't come here for a month.
Then I say, I am sorry that you weren't happy with the service you received. And she goes,
It's okay.
Then I continue to scan and pack her items. Then she suddenly says,
You pack better than the lady that served me last month. She was the reason why I didn't shop here for a month.
I thought for a while and felt a bit sorry for her because she wasn't happy with someone who works here and served her. Then she goes on a rant and says,
I dislike that lady. She was terrible at packing and serving me, and I had to complain to the manager at the front desk at how she didn't listen.
Then it hits me. She was talking about me, but she didn't know that the person she complained about was just right in front of her. Then went on another full rant about how I was a bad packer, about how she spent $500 for all this, and to get her bags dumped as if it was a garbage dump, etc., etc. So I just awkwardly nod and smile and pretend to agree with her, and I say things like, well, that is not right. I think she should pack your bags correctly. And I wanted to roll my eyes so badly, but this was hilarious. She thought I was a completely different person. I'm just the same person, but I dyed my hair and cut my hair, and I'm wearing contact lenses. After I pack and scan her items, she compliments at how fast I scan and how amazingly I packed her bags. Then she goes,
Can I please get your name? I'd like to tell the front desk about how you are a wonderful server, and you've done my packing very well.
But I packed her bags literally the same as last month. So I told her that my name was Emily. My name isn't Emily, by the way, to add in the fun of her thinking I was a completely different person. Then she goes off to praise me and says that,
I will come back to this store. Thank you, Emily, for saving me.
And then she walks off and tells the front desk about how much of a wonderful server I am, and blah, blah, blah. As I serve the next customer, I laugh and smirk at how she thought I was someone completely different, and how it was fun to play along. Ah, the good times. The end. 3. Welcome to Boxsmart. I am the guy in black scrubs and a lanyard that says FBI crime scene do not cross, attached to a badge with not this place clearly named. Never mind, I'm with my wife and kid. Twice I wander off to grab something we skipped or forgot. Twice randoms ask me where to find things, frozen veggies, frozen seafood section, both oddly placed in my opinion. Both times, I'm not sure, I don't work here and I try to avoid this place, sorry, and on we go. Now I'm reaching atop the high shelf to get a meal replacement drink, because I often need to not feel hunger pain while not having time to properly handle it. I'm reading the label and chatting with wifey about it. Spidey sense fails me. Wife looks up behind me a couple times and I don't register that I've applied for a new job. She tugs my sleeve and clears a path for Karen, saying, Scooch over, babe, I think she needs in. And I move while turning and saying, Sorry, lost in the label. My application has been accepted. I'm hired and I start my new position 15 seconds ago. I receive a verbal warning for conduct immediately. When you're done messing around, I need you to help me find my own ass. I've got 2 hands and still can't find it. Your useless kids just point and send me the wrong way. Took about 10 full seconds of blinking, thinking, and checking my outfit to realize all you need is a lanyard of any kind to get a job here. Coincidentally, it seems the same amount of time for a wild Karen to ignore all the signs present and become enraged at not having their demands met with groveling. Are you useless too? Let's go, I need to find it today. I gave wifey a good solid kiss. She blinks and stares confused. Be back in a sec, beautiful. Be good for mommy, buddy. Kiddo doesn't blink much, but wifey catches on. Really? Okay then, have fun. I check my badge again just to see if the ignition kicks on for Karen. Appears to run on steam and the coal fire is heating up. I'm pretty new, but we'll find it. Right this way, ma'am. She made it down 4 aisles that almost definitely wouldn't have what she wanted before mentioning my incompetence. I can't see why they put you in charge. I can't help but agree. I'm right there with you, ma'am. Seems like a major oversight. She follows through the pet food, by the fish, and through the shoes, but draws the line at electronics. I'm looking for meat. Why would you take me here? There's no food back here at all. It's been fun, but I'm bored and she's either going to get the point shortly or never. Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe we should get someone that works here. Should we try at the register? They can probably call a manager from there. Looks like the at-will employment in my state kicked in. She walked off toward the food and I hadn't received next week's schedule. I'm not hurt though. The pay was terrible. 4. I have worked at a Midwestern-based superstore or big box store. I have worked for this company for the better part of 20 years, and have put up with a lot, but I'm stubborn, and like getting paid, so yeah. At my particular store, we have an infamous customer that was banned from our store over 10 years ago for causing problems, arguing with team members, yelling at customers, and being a high-volume returner. She had been known to take frozen foods and stash them in fashions, or leave meats in the yarn and fabric sections, etc. Real upstanding things. Part of her entitlement came from one of our managers dating her son, and let her get away with anything. As the years passed, everyone I knew had stories about this woman. I've heard of the classic Karens. I think this lady was the origin of the species, who I will call Primordial Karen, or PK. When training new people, I always make sure to mention her, describing her as around 500 years old, smoking 20 packs a day, and having a deeper voice than I do. I have had phone interactions with her where I have called her sir the entire time, because I could not tell it was this particular customer until she would get mad and say, "You know this is Primordial Karen, right?" My response, "I'm sorry, sir, I did not." Well, this is the historic triple ban, so I may as well get on with it. Ban 1. The aforementioned arguing, assault, returns in the $1,000, and being a general Uber Karen. I do not normally work the service desk, but I do occasionally have to grab returns to shop back. As I was approaching the desk, I see Primordial Karen, the service team member's store director, and interestingly, the county sheriff's deputies. I happen to hear PK cussing at her service team leader and, surprisingly, the manager swearing back at her with F-bombs and all that. Never seen that from management before. On the floor, even. As I had only worked here for a few years at that point, and being only in my mid-20s, I was unaccustomed to this, as I was a polite young man, and my parents were strict about profanity. I have since grown up. I hear the store director say, "PK, we don't need you as a customer. You are going to leave this store, and you are being banned from our location. You are being denied service. You cannot buy what's in your cart because you will just try and return it later, and I don't want to deal with you anymore." PK is even more angry at this point, but the store director points to the deputy and says if she didn't leave, she would be removed. She left. I should also mention that the manager that was dating PK's son had been fired not too long before this for theft, and we were not going to put up with it anymore. Ban 2. Some time goes by and all is well, but suddenly a disturbance in the force. Different departments kept getting calls from some angry old guy, and because I had been there for about 5 years and trained most of the other team members, they all start approaching me with similar stories. I start putting 2 and 2 together and come up with PK hitting on some new scheme to get around her ban. She was calling into the store to find someone who would shop for her, way before personal shopping apps existed, and then send someone into the store to pick up her order. This is when I get the call, when I call her sir, as I mentioned above. I find out she has been parking in our parking lot and harassing customers and asking them to shop for her. Finally, I hear she convinced one of our fashion and baby team to buy her some products using the team member's own money, then to deliver it to PK's house. Talking to the team member, later I found out PK didn't even pay her back for the purchase. All this is reported to the management, and a memo is passed around that if we get calls from PK, to forward them to our store director. I find out the store director had seen PK in the parking lot and banned her not only from our property, but from the entire company, and that she will be arrested for trespassing if she is caught again. Ban 3. As of today, it has been about 12 years since my first interaction with PK, and we still get calls from time to time. For some reason, senility I assume, she's probably pushing 600 by now. She's been calling every few hours and looking for a shark vacuum and a Keurig coffee maker. I call my manager and inform them that PK seems to still be living, or at least some unholy undead of some kind, and is calling. I tell him that I just had to hang up on her because she started cussing at me within 30 seconds of answering the department phone. Bosses say they are aware, and I'm not the first to report her today. Apparently, she started calling yesterday. Nothing we can do. Or so I thought. I guess PK got fed up with being hung up on, so she called our corporate helpline. I feel sorry for the operator that dealt with her, and demanded that she be connected to the store. The operator sounded frazzled when I answered the phone because I do not work in the department she was trying to direct to. I told her we had a service rush and I was the only team member on the floor and I would try to help. The operator says she had a really rude lady on the phone asking for a Krug and a shark vacuum. I tell the operator I've dealt with this customer 3 times this morning, and others have too. She's banned. Blah, blah, blah. The operator, to my surprise, says, "Oh, thank God! I'll talk to the supervisor and have this number listed on our ban list. We may have to talk to the store director, but we'll take care of this." My dumbfounded response, "You can do that? I've been dealing with her for 12 years. The operator says, "Yes, it looks like this customer hung up during our conversation anyway, so have a nice day." 5. I worked at PetSmart during most of my undergraduate degree. We were in a small strip-type area, as most are, which ended with our store pretty much right in a massive Walmart parking lot. This was great when we needed supplies like Sharpies for writing codes on the fish bags or something like that. It wasn't uncommon that I would run over on my break to buy an energy drink or lunch or something for the store. On this day in 2012, I was being really dumb. It was finals week and I was running on 2 hours sleep for the last 5 days in a row. Completely on autopilot. Our uniform at the time was khaki pants and a light blue collared shirt with PetSmart on the back in huge red letters. We also had just gotten headsets. I went over to pick up a small whiteboard for my department and completely forgot to not only take off my work shirt, but my headset as well. I tried to stuff it into my pockets as best I could, but anyone who knows ladies' dress pants knows that's not happening. But I was already in the store by the time I realized, so I decided to rush and hope it would be okay. So I'm crouched down, digging through the cheap whiteboards on the bottom shelf, trying to find one that isn't broken, and suddenly I'm knocked onto my ass. This woman grabbed my collar, right above the big PetSmart logo, and pulled me over. I turned to look at her and said, "Excuse me, are you all right?" My retail brain was still on, and I also maybe thought she'd grabbed me to keep me from falling or something. I don't know, I was pretty out of it. She starts shouting about the lack of good employees these days. She was maybe in her 60s, small-framed and loud. This is when I realized and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't work here actually." I pointed at the logo on my back. She goes off about how I'm clearly a manager, pointing at my headset. But now I'm clutching my whiteboard and trying to leave. I again apologized and said, "No, I work at the pet store across the way," and pointed at the small logo on my name tag. I think she took this to mean I worked at the pet department in Walmart. After a couple of minutes of arguing, while I backed away and managed to make it halfway to the register, she asked for my manager. I told her his name is Steven. He works at PetSmart. If you go over there, you can talk to him. I thought she got it finally because she stormed off. I paid for my things and went back across the way. It wasn't until an hour later, but she came in. She asked the cashier for a manager while I spied from a couple aisles over. She actually tried to make a complaint about me not helping her at our sister store. My manager essentially laughed her off and told her he couldn't do anything about what I did on my breaks. She left, threatening to call corporate, but I never heard anything. I can only assume she called Walmart corporate to make the complaint. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Adventures in Fast Food and Retail, number 73. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. I'm being a good Hellfreezer today. Sunday night, 2 videos already recorded. I've got almost a quarter of the Glitch Monthly recorded. Should be up on Thursday if all goes well. And I'm about to send messages to get the rest of the stories I needed. I should probably have done it sooner than this, but it's usually enough time. Don't have to put it up till Thursday. This is Sunday. We should be alright. Hopefully. Getting the biggest part of the making videos out of the way, which is recording the audio right now, because I've got a few things tomorrow. I've got a thingy arriving, which I will test out for the microphone. And I've got someone from Parcel Force coming to pick up a broken set of headphones that have been sitting on the shelf for best part of a year. And I realised, hang on, this is a 2-year warranty, I can actually send them back. So I've got that done, got it all packaged up. I was a good little hell freezer, and I actually took the insurance just in case anything goes wrong with it. It wasn't actually too much more, so I figured, okay, it'll at least cover the cost of it. If anything happens, I'd rather get them to the Sennheiser people and repaired. I have since actually replaced them with a better set of headphones. The Bose ones are actually much better. But still, I would like these ones to work. Because when they work, they're quite good. Plus, they look pretty. Okay, and with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.